Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
It's the NFL owners meetings are this weekend. Mickey Loomis there, obviously. Dennis Allen will be there as well. We'll hear from them probably throughout the week. But Mickey Loomis looked like he was walking into the meetings and had a few microphones stuck in his face. And one of those are from New Orleans.football, Nick Underhill, Mike Triplett. They posted this audio on Twitter. They asked Mickey Loomis about the Saints offseason to this point.
Well, I feel good about it. We go into every offseason with 15 or 16 things that we want to do. I think we got a majority of those things accomplished. Some of the things were reactionary. When you lose a couple of defensive tackles, you have to react to that. But I'm excited about the players that we got, and excited about this upcoming season.
So he talks about the defensive line, right, and specifically defensive tackle. A lot of it had to be reactionary, and you're right. I mean, look, you had a couple guys probably walk that you didn't maybe necessarily think would be turning that over. You already knew that was a spot you had to fix anyway, and it became more reactionary, so you did that. Another position that may be a little bit reactionary is receiver. And look, I said a bit because that's one the Saints already have to address, and they're going to continue to have to address that in the draft. I would imagine you see them take a wide receiver. But today they signed Bryan Edwards, and I say maybe it's a bit reactionary because, well, Marcos Callaway left for Denver on Friday. Bryan Edwards signed by the New Orleans Saints today per sources. Nick Underhill, others reporting that news. If the name sounds familiar, it probably should. He played his college football at South Carolina and had a lot of success, actually, for the Gamecocks. Left South Carolina after 3 years. First place all-time in receptions with 234. First place all-time in receiving yards with 3,045. He was first place all-time consecutive games with reception, 48 consecutive games with a catch at South Carolina, and was second all-time in receiving touchdowns in the history of South Carolina football. A third-round pick, 81st overall of the Las Vegas Raiders. It has not necessarily materialized much for him at the next level. The great college career hasn't totally carried over, although he has had one nice season. So he spent 2 years with the Raiders, 2020 and 2021. Was released in March of was traded to the Falcons in March of 22. Was released by the Falcons in November of 22 and signed to the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad. His best year was his second year. He started 12 out of the 16 games he played, had 571 yards and 3 touchdowns. So the Saints adding a receiver. It's another body in the room to go along with Michael Thomas, which kind of feels like a signing, honestly, with how that came about. It looked like he was out the door and now he's back. Obviously, Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, who basically is a receiver. He plays tight end, but he's a receiver. And now Bryan Edwards. You still have some work to do there, and I would expect the Saints, honestly, to continue to address that position in the draft. But overall, it has been a very good offense, a very good offseason on paper for the New Orleans Saints. They got under the cap, signed Derek Carr. You got some defensive tackles in the boat. Now Bryan Edwards, you're charging towards the draft. Jamal Williams, love that signing so much. I actually talked about that potentially earlier on another show I was filling in for Moscona, so loved that signing by the New Orleans Saints. So Bryan Edwards, the latest in the boat, and the offseason continues for New Orleans.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.